will make decision or not. At least you, the founder, will have the, let's just say, the 80% decision making in the business. So, so in case of this oil pay now, as you, the founder, have that 80% decision making, and when this outside investor came in, you were able to like say, oh yeah, fine, you're going to do this business. So let it be that you state the roles and responsibilities so that everybody knows you understand. And again, have a Lego book of a Lego binding document where the person has to sign that this is where my limit stops. So that's it. Then the, the third question. Okay, yeah, you're not sharing the screen. So
I'm sharing.
one, I said getting a better job.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I can see. So the third question, which is setting your life goals. So when I said getting a better paying job, which will be next year, I pray maybe this year before this year ends. Yeah. So moving to Canada.
Everybody wants to jackpot.
The third one was furthering my education and growing my career. Maybe going for a PhD or master. Then the last one, setting up a charity organization. I think this one will be when I already set up myself and stuff and money is coming in, that kind of a thing. So the last question, which is to analyze an existing product and break down into features and let determine the roadmap. Okay, this is what I did on my own. I didn't go into listing the sign up, the login and stuff. I just listed down the. Please, can you show the screen so that they'll be able to see it? Abby?
Can you see? I'm sharing it. Can you see?
Yeah. So for I choose PalmPay app. PalmPay app does a lot of things, from saving to buying of airtime, utility bills, TV, electricity, blah blah blah, stuff like that. So I listed down the feature, which is fund. Wherever you put in your money, you can make a withdrawal. You can send money to someone. You can request some money from your other bank. Lucky Money. You can top up for airtime. You buy your data bundle, utilities, TV, internet, pay, fan pay support fund, which is this was basically created during this COVID-19. So then ticketing, betting, lucky games, repayment. So that's it. That's my one assignment.
Okay, well done. You did a good job. Let me start from the beginning. Choose products, okay. So I will assume that you are trying to build a product backlog here. So a product backlog is the list of tasks that you want to build over time, but it's based on prioritization. So you put the most important first, the must-haves, and the nice to haves at the bottom. So you keep on prioritizing your product backlog depending on customer needs, stakeholder needs, and even changing customer tastes and preferences, trends, even competition. Keep on prioritizing your product backlog, but ensure that the most important feature is on top is the one that produces the highest business value at every point in time. So I would assume that that's why you prioritize your product backlog this way. So I will assume that buying airtime is your main priority, followed by data subscription, utility bills, budgeting, and transaction history is actually not as it's not as important as buying of airtime. As a product manager, maybe you have decided that buying airtime will provide or give you more business value because it's you're going to earn revenue on that product. But history of a transaction, there's no revenue. It's not a revenue generating feature. So is
Yeah.
providing the lowest business value. So you're buying airtime. Nigerians always buy airtime every now and then, every minute. So you make more money buying airtime. You make more money for the business buying airtime. So I will assume that that's why you put your buying of airtime as first feature on your backlog. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. So when you are building your product backlog, it's always good to use the Moscow prioritization um, analogy. So the Moscow prioritization helps you determine which are the must have, could have, nice to have, and won't have. So based on your prioritization list, you must has always come first. So that's why I told you I am assuming that you put buying airtime as a must have because it's actually the one starting your product backlog. It's first on your list. And I'll assume that it's giving you feel that according to what you said, because PVS doesn't have the airtime feature and you have to always go to another app, you prefer if you can save and buy airtime in one app, on one app, rather than buy airtime. So I assume that it's a must have to you. That's why you put it as number one on your backlog list. The ones that won't have, they don't even appear on your backlog list at all. They don't even appear. So I think that's what he was trying to ask. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't really hear you about the wireframe because your network went off there. So I didn't really hear you at all. I don't really know the reason behind the wireframe. Can you take us through again?
Okay, just to show how it's going to look like. It's not like it's gonna be. Just to show how
Sorry?
it's going to look like. That's it. Just to show how
Okay.
it's going to look like on the app. That's
Okay,
it.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. With the airtime and bills, right? Well done.
Yes.
Well done.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Oya Pay. Um, yeah. So you said that this was because a family member withdrew his funds because a family member had invested in the product and he pulled out of the investment. I assume that's what it's all about. But apart from
No.
that, is that what you said?
No, the family member disagree with the idea of allowing an additional investor
Oh,
into
he
the
didn't want to
business.
dilute his investment. He wanted to have full ownership autonomy over the product.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So apart from that, did the product actually satisfy market needs? Did it gain traction when it was launched?
Yeah. Believe so.
Do you think that there was a good product market fit?
I think
Because
so, yes, because that's the only issue that made the founder to. This is the only issue that made the founder to scrap the platform. So that's it.
okay, so without that issue, do you think the product would have been a viable,
Yeah.
successful product?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I would assume that maybe when he launched the product, it had a low adoption rate or it wasn't really resonating with uh, the customers, his target audience, or customers didn't buy into the whole idea. So, okay. Okay, yes. So you prioritize your goals. So the most important on your product backlog is getting a better
Hey.
paying job
I
next
thought you're
year.
not going to go to this. Yes.
So once you do that, the next thing you're going to do is to move to Canada. Then furthering my
Mm-hmm.
education and growing my career is third on your list. Then setting up it. So your must have right now is your better paying job. That's your must have. Maybe your nice to have is
Yeah.
moving to Canada. then your could have is your education and growing your career and setting up a charity. So it may happen, it may not happen. But the most important that's going to happen on your list is getting a better paying job and maybe moving to Canada.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Then pound pay, what you did was really good. So this is actually correct because I know you mentioned that you didn't really break it down into smaller features. So actually, the product roadmap is high level, right? If you want to break it out into small, if you want to break down the features, these epics into smaller features, you can, but you can leave it at this at the same time. It's correct. It's just that if you want to be more explanatory, you can break it down, but it's usually high level. So once you are able to communicate your product roadmap to your stakeholders, you can now, once you get their buy-in, you can now take it back to your team or within yourself and break it down into smaller features. So you know what you want to achieve from these features that you have actually put on your product roadmap. It's actually used for communicating your product strategy. So you may or may not break it down into smaller features. So what you've done here is absolutely correct. But if you want to break it down, it's fine as well. But it just depends on the environment you're working in rather. Did you get me?
Yes.
Okay, well done. You did a good job. You did a good job. So that's fine, Jennifer. Well done. Let me stop sharing. Then Eunice, is Eunice on the call? Do you want to share?
Yes, I am. Sadly, I did not prepare something like that. I just thought through it because I have not been attending all the classes. I just started attending the class with this one. So this is my first class. So
Okay.
I just thought through the assignment, but I did not actually prepare any documents that I could share.
Okay. So Emeka, are you there? So it's like
As Adelewale presented.
Yes, he has presented himself and Jennifer. They've presented.
Okay, how about AU? AU, good morning, good evening, AU.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, good evening, AU.
Okay, so I didn't do this. I mean, the ones that were presented. To be honest, I just did the one that was on my own profile page. Like there was a question.
Can you speak up, AU, please? Can you speak up?
So I said that I did not answer all these questions that the last two presenters presented on. I only
Can't hear you.
Hello.
Can you go closer to the microphone?
Hello.
Yes, better.
So I said that I didn't answer those like the questions that the last two presenters did. I only answered the question on my own profile page. That was what I clicked to submit. I didn't realize that I was actually supposed to do the assignment, like do like a presentation.
Wait, right? I constantly reiterated like over time that you're going to do this on the Google Docs, right? I think since the past 2 years I've been saying this like over time. I'm not happy hearing you saying this like on the live call. You know, even yesterday night, I painstakingly stayed that we can send a message to you guys. Mails were rolled out that the assignment should be in Google Docs, right? You understand? I'm so surprised now. You're saying you don't have this right on the Google Docs. You understand? How about people who just shared that on Google Docs? You see that they were from from space. But it's fine. It's fine. I understand. But you could just share your experiences, right? Maybe we could have another perspective to it, right? You could share experiences from your head. But moving forward, I would love that we take all this in seriously, right? Take this in seriously. Do you understand what I'm saying? You
No, I think you're getting me confused. maybe you should listen to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I didn't do this last. The only assignment that I wrote down was the one on my profile page that said, "Oh, think about a crypto."
Sorry, we lost out on you. Sorry, can you come again? Judith, can you hear me?
I don't know for other people if it reflects. So I didn't take out time to write these ones. I just focused on the one that reflected on my page. So I don't know if you understand me. So it's not like I didn't do anything throughout the entire week.
Okay. So you are saying the one you did was for cryptocurrency, right? I missed out on you, like.
Yes.
Okay, that means
I hope
that's for the PM track now. How come you got an assignment for the PM track on your profile? Okay, we'll look into it. It's not a problem.
I don't know. So that's the one I did. So I'm surprised to see what everybody else did.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Toby, what do you have for us, Toby?
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think I can see it.
So you can go
All
on.
right. So, all right. About the products that I use and to tell what because I didn't copy the questions. I'm sure everybody has the question.
It's okay.
All right. So the product I chose SpectraNet. Can everyone hear me? The
I
SpectraNet
can hear
MiFi.
you.
Okay. So I would like to improve on that. The rate at which it is now, their modems, it can only be used for specific phones. Their SIM cards rather. And I would like to improve on that to make sure it's available for iPhones because I was at the office, was it not last week? And I asked why the SIM cards can be used on normal phones, just like our normal MTN Glow lines. And they said for now, it's just only on few Android phones. So I would like to improve on that. And that's for number one. For the second one, the product that failed, I'm sure we all would know it, or some of us will know it. Microsoft Zone. It's supposed to work as an iPod, but it came out much more later than iPod, and it didn't sell because they didn't have. I won't say they didn't have a marketing strategy because they didn't plan it well. The features that was on the Zune as at that time it came out, the iPod was already in the market and people already loved iPod. I know we all know what iPod is, and we use iPod very well back then. But this Zune came out 5 years after the iPod must have been published. People have already been using the iPod. And
maybe not defining crypto as a product person because you're talking to stakeholders. The way you think is you think some of these things they already know. So if they call for an explanation, you could just give a very short one there. You also gave the number. I like this. Yes, 25.08. So it was that 0.08, which is what has which is the difference between our budget in 2018 and the remittance. It's just that 0.08 because our budget was also 25 billion. And put it there. Some of what we need to do now, we need to learn how PMs use then route to market strategy. That's one. We also need to understand the PRD, what is market requirements, documentation, product requirement, and I'll just share
Features that you see the other special Wi-Fi possess, you want it, the special Wi-Fi, to also have those similar features or even better features than what competitors are offering. Some competitors are offering, yeah. So
Okay.
something like that. But SIM
Okay.
cards,
So
I
sorry.
think if you have rephrased it differently, SIM cards can only work on Android phones. If you have rephrased this, reward this, maybe it would be more suitable here.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah. Boladi, I would have loved to understand that. Okay, do you have like a way in your head that is going to actually you are going to actually make this work?
Sorry,
Like
I didn't get
even
that.
even something you want to work on as a
Yes.
maybe or a functionality on a product. You have like an idea of how do you actually want to achieve this? Like, can you just break it
Okay.
down? Give us a walkthrough.
All right. For the same cards that can work on, are you there? Are you
Yes, I
there?
We
can
can
hear
hear
Hello.
you. We can hear you.
All right. For the same card that can work on just few phones, I want to believe that the Spectranet itself, they've gone to those the manufacturers to actually build something that can make it the network that can make it align with the phone. So if I will be working on something like that, I will say that the Spectranet now, I will go to the
I noticed. I noticed. What was the fourth question? The fourth question was break down into features and determine the roadmap. So you just look at a feature and you just try to write down what you see on the features. So that was the whole idea. You look at a product, rather, sorry, and you examine that product and write down all the
I'm sorry.
features you can see on that product.
I'm sorry. Is there anything that you can share for me that I can be able to see what you mean?
Hello, so hello,
Look at
Judith.
your colleagues.
So
Hello.
Judith, why is saying this? Are there pointers? What I think are there pointers? So in terms of like documentations that you could share with them, or maybe on the chat session, or on the Slack channel for them to after this, right?
Yeah, but that's fine. But his colleagues' examples, like um, Jennifer and Adewale, right? Their example was very explanatory. So yeah, you can share that, or I can
Okay.
also share that as well, based on the class work. It was well captured from by his other colleagues that were able to answer number 4. But if you want more explanation, if you want me to explain further, I'm happy to do that.
Okay, yeah. It would be great, right? Yeah. Okay. So guys, I think that's all for now. Any questions to ask so far, guys? If you have questions, you can ask Judith. Judith has been also like before we go to the main room, ask your questions now, right?
I know that.
Okay, guys, so sorry. Can you guys hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you, Mika.
Okay. So
So
Keji,
I've shared 3 with you.
Keji,
Yes.
Sammy did this assignment, right? But he's having difficulties joining. Do you understand? So he shared a Google Docs, right? Let me share it to everybody, right? He shared a Google Docs. So I want everybody to open that Google Docs and look at Sammy's assignment. He's having difficulties joining. I don't know what the issues he's having, but let's look at the assignment together and dissect. Maybe other people
With
can learn from it.
it can be accessed.
It says the file no longer. I think it has deleted. The file no longer exists.
Okay.
Let's move to the last person, which is who is Jama. Let me see if he shared. Okay, so Jamal has shared before. Jamal, can we access your? Can you make it public?
Can you reshare? Can you share the link?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. My question is, where does product sensing come into all of this? And then in building a roadmap, you do that. I mean, are you constantly changing, or should I say editing your roadmap, improving and removing things as you go on as a PM on a product?
Yes, you will have to, because I earlier mentioned that you have to always modify your roadmap. So let me talk about documentation. I think you asked about documentation. So when you want to come, the first thing, once as a PM, you are supposed to create your product roadmap. So that's the product roadmap that's going to help you determine your product strategy. And it's through your roadmap that you'll be able to communicate with your stakeholders as to what you're trying to achieve in the long run. So yes, I would assume that depending on the environment you find yourself in, some environments actually adopt the waterfall methodology. These terminologies you'll be able to would be addressed in the later classes. But you see that some environments adopt the waterfall, while others adopt the agile methodology. So based on the methodology that is being used in your organization will determine your documents. So for agile, what you need, the only thing you need is actually your user stories. So your user stories is actually a breakdown of your product roadmap. Is your user stories are used in communicating with your dev team, and your user stories is what you're going to use to communicate with your dev team, and that is what's going to be communicate your user requirements. User stories is actually how a user will actually engage with your system. So there's a way you write it. There's a format for writing user stories, and there's a skill that is required to learn how to write user stories. Because if you don't write your user stories well, you won't be able to communicate effectively to your dev team. Because your dev team, as a good product manager, you should be able to capture all requirements. And you don't want a situation whereby maybe at the middle of a product, you remember that this requirement wasn't clearly captured because maybe you omitted something. So that's why it's always good to scope your products, before you start. You scope and gather requirements and engage with all stakeholders before you start writing your user stories. Then to answer your question about what again you asked, what was the next question? Sorry, if I remember.
The next question was product sensing, but sorry, follow up from your answer. So, but the user stories are encompassed in the PRD, in the product requirement document.
That is waterfall. So the waterfall,
Okay.
agile is user stories. Just get that. Waterfall is BRD, FRD. That is what they use in most organizations in Nigeria, actually. But some organizations actually combine waterfall and agile. So they call it Wagile. So what you do is that as a PM, you provide your business requirement documents, and from your business requirement documents, you create your user stories. Some organizations do that. When I used to work in First Bank, that was what we were doing. Because every organization wants a situation where you can sign off. Because before you move from one level to another, and when you're engaging with stakeholders for requirements, and if you want to agree on stakeholders, agree on some features or functionalities, you have to get it signed off. Because you don't want a situation whereby they will tell you at the end of the day, we didn't tell you to do this. Who told you to do that? So you ensure that you get signed off from all the key stakeholders. So yes, so like these kind of big organizations, they use the BRDs as business requirement documents, the FRDs are the functional requirement documents. And when you are now engaging with your dev team, right? Because at that point in time, your senior stakeholders, they don't know about your intricate, details about your daily task and how you go about it. So in order for you to communicate effectively to your dev team, you need to write your user stories. Do you get me? That is how some organizations operate. But other organizations, I think also let me be honest with you, in the more advanced communities, like maybe the UK or America, they don't really use FRTs and BRTs. They use strictly user stories. So when they are able to gather requirements, scope requirements, and they design their product roadmap, they start breaking those features, which are also called epics, into user stories. And it's those user stories that the dev will consume in building your requirements.
All right, thank you. So, sorry, another question. When you go into an organization, they inform you of their own documentation, I suppose, or you'd have to research.
Yes. No.
Right.
They will tell you. They will tell you. Every organization has a way of doing things. You know, immediately when you get there, they'll tell you. It's something that will just happen naturally. It's not as if they'll write it and say, this is how we're going to do it. They'll just, okay, Adewale, I want to provide you with the FRT. You just know, these people are not agile. They are practicing waterfall. Do you get me?
Okay, and
Or
sorry, and when I don't know, do they do some form of training, or you just have to adapt to
sorry,
their own? Do they end up helping you adjust to the way they write their documents or not?
it's yeah, like I went for training, right? Yeah, it depends on the organization. If you want to do your own independent training, fine. If you want to go for a personal training, fine. But the company actually trained us, right? And we got an agile practitioner to be for a period of 6 months and train us on how to write user stories and how to actually be agile, because agile is, and another thing, agile is adaptable. It's not organization that agile works in, because in a very heavy bureaucratic environment like the big generation banks, agile may not necessarily work. So that's why we're able to combine the agile and the waterfall methodologies for it to work. So it just depends on the climate of your organization. It's not a big deal. Once you go there, you will see that you naturally just blend. So if you think that you need more to enhance your knowledge, you go and do some short courses online. So you have to keep on being abreast with what is happening in the industry. You have to keep on updating your knowledge base. Yes. So it's not, don't think it's an uphill task. It's not. It's just something that will happen naturally. Don't get overwhelmed with what we are saying. It will just happen. Everything will just fall in place. So writing those requirements, it's actually writing the requirements and writing users. So yes, the more you do it, you get better at it. You actually do get better at it. But you are going in as a junior product manager, so I will assume that they may not expect you to know it thoroughly, but it's always good to learn on the side so you could project some positive outputs. Then for the product backlog about being refined, yes, you have to during the agile methodology process, there's something they call backlog refinement. You have to continue to refine your product backlog and your product roadmap because technology is changing, users' tastes and preferences are changing, there are new trends, there's market and stakeholders will just say that they want this, they want that, they want this. That's why agile is good because it's adaptable, it's flexible. But waterfall is difficult because those requirements have been clearly um, decided on and they have been clearly articulated to your stakeholders and agreed upon, and you've signed it off that this is what we are going to do. So adding new requirements at the end or beginning of a development is not ideal. It can lead to a lot of bugs, can lead to a lot of issues because you'll not be able to identify it at the outset. But with Agile, you are continuously building, you're continuously testing, you're continuously testing and releasing, developing, and you're going to actually determine if this product is if you call it an increment. When you will go into that, if I say all that, I may sound confusing, but once you ship a potentially usable product, it's called an increment in Agile. So it's going for testing, it's going for testing and all of that. So you determine if this feature or that increment is viable or not. So that's how Agile works. So you have to keep on updating your product backlog. You may or you may not, but in this part of the world, you know how it is.
Okay, still just the coconut.
To improve on your
Are you guys
solution,
done?
get a
Yeah. Are you
perfect
guys
product.
done?
We are done. We're waiting for you. I just want to keep our house busy.
I'm sorry. Like so sorry. Like I've been going, attending to so many messages. Right. Um. Yeah. You just have 5 more minutes to round up. Let's round up in 5
We
minutes.
are ready, Emeka.
Oh,
We are
okay.
ready.
So I will end the session for this room. Right. So we're gonna go to the main room.
But let me say something. It's my class. Are you guys happy? Are you happy with everything today? Did you get a clear understanding? And
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes,
okay.
I did.
All right, thank you. So Emeka, we are good to go.
Okay.